Hey everybody, clearing. All right, October 2nd, 2024, eclipse reading. We are going to dive into what's going on with the divine masculine at this time. Many divine masculines are hidden from sight from their feminines right now. That solar light gets blocked from coming into the earth plane, and it causes deep introspection in the masculine. The masculine is hidden from plain sight at this time. So let's have a look and see what the masculines, I just heard the guides say, when the eclipses happen, it's auspicious for the masculines downloading as high priestess energy typically does. So they get a very one-on-one with higher guidance internally during a solar eclipse. Let's look at the emotions coming up. Let's look at what the divine masculines would say to their counterpart at this time about what's happening, what they're observing, what they are processing, what they are thinking. Let's have a look at what's about to transpire going into the future based on these messages we're going to get. And then I have a little bit of a special addition to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if you're inspired. But I also have a whole bunch of questions, intimacy, deepening questions. I'm gonna just pull a couple and see what these divine masculines might have on their mind going into this eclipse. Tell me a time you felt foolish in our connection. Okay, so they're processing their own guilt and shame for dropping the ball, screwing it up, coming across foolish, and they're wondering if you, divine feminine, have also ever felt that way, or if you're just completely on it and, you know, not feeling like you can do any wrong. They're wanting to know. So I'm gonna just say, if you are watching this for somebody that might be wondering if you've ever felt less than or insecure or foolish, specifically in the connection, take a moment to tune back into forgiveness of self and really looking at the circumstances, the growth that's come from that, and send your divine counterpart a big energetic hug and reconcile those things. You know, make amends for those times when you felt foolish. And what are your priorities in your life right now? So they're clearing some clutter, energetic clutter, and they're also focusing on business here. So they want forward motion. They want to feel like their foolishness or short-sightedness isn't going to ruin the whole connection. They do want to know how they can have success from here. They need to feel successful. They don't want to just label themselves as foolish and be done with it and have this fall away. So yeah, really get in touch with what your priorities are right now, divine feminines. And yes, here we go with the reading. So divine masculines, what are they contemplating about the connection right now? For some, they're not quite single. They definitely don't feel single from you, divine feminine. Some are in other scenarios they need to free themselves from. Some of them are seeing parallels with codependency patterns from their past and some of the things they do not want to recreate here. Right now, in real time, they might be losing a little bit of hope. It's like they have to feel it to heal it right now. So they are kind of emotional. They are kind of feeling like they're very weak. They've demonstrated weak, foolish behavior. They're wondering if you also sometimes feel foolish. But they're really going into it right now. What is the emotion connected? Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So we can have stubborn, foolish pride, or we can have healthy pride that is humble. A sense of pride, proud of ourselves, instead of arrogant or boastful. So there's a lens here that can be adjusted from a disintegrated, misinformed, ill-equipped, imbalanced sense of pride, unrealistic, maybe entitlement, various things. But there can be a humbling here. And they want to see themselves in you. They don't want to feel like they're the odd one out. But they don't want to make you feel bad for anything foolish. They just wonder if someone so divine as you also can relate to putting your foot in your mouth, or maybe 2 feet. What do they want to say to you? I want a fresh start with you. So they do not want to stagnate in this kind of an impasse energy. They want it brand new. They want a brand new level of connection. They want to leave this kind of stuff in the past. What's going to happen next? Okay, so literally we get the same card. This is the codependency, this is the sovereignty. So right now they really want to cut out the crap. They want to cut out this cycle of disintegration that they've caught themselves out in. So this eclipse is very much correcting that behavior for those who, with their free will, choose to see it for what it is and take accountability. What are these masculines aware of on the conscious mind for you? They're aware of needing to offer themselves more self-love in order to have it to give you, feminines. So they are transforming. They see that the only way they can come forward to you is if they love themselves and view themselves as worthy enough to be a partner for someone like you, or what they perceive you to be. What is the emotion with this? Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So this has been the root of their indecision. Look at that beautiful root chakra red. This has been their instability, is that they were not given the love they needed. They had trauma, they didn't love themselves, they had disintegrated self-worth, they didn't have it to give. And they're seeing you as somebody that has loved them unconditionally, that is a safe energy, that is here for them and what they see, what you see in them, not their folly. You're not here to point at the raw spots. You are here to encourage them to rise. And so this is a very good decision for them because you're good for them, because you actually love them. You're not here to make them feel foolish, to point at their wounding. You're here to love them into their potential. What would they say to you? What do you want? So that goes back to a little bit about what are your priorities in life right now? Okay, fine. Let's have a quick look at the divine feminine priorities in life right now. What can we see for the divine feminines to answer that question? What are the priorities in life? Focusing on more than meets the eye. So a deeper connection. Feminines, masculines, your feminines want to go deeper. They want to see patterns. They want to work on these energetic awarenesses together. They don't want to be caught up in the mundane, in the material level of reality. They want to be master manifestors that see the intentional realm. Hermit and the Empress. Okay, so right now they are focused on elevating, creating abundance, focusing on the destined path. They're not wanting to fester with karmic strife and BS and drama and, I heard, infidelity, games playing, all that junk. They want to stand on business. They're okay on their own here, masculines, because if something isn't an energetic match, even you, they're not here for it. What's going to happen? Yeah. Magician in the upright can be too zealous, too headstrong to manifest. There seems to be a pause here to look at what easily and effortlessly is available, is organically unfolding without having to force it. So feminines are good on their own. That means they're not chasing, they're not pressuring, they're not trying to get an answer out of you. They're giving you space, masculines. they really just want the real deal. That's what they're here for. That's what they want. And if something adds a solution, as value to their life, they want you to step in and have complete access to their lives. If you're willing, if you want to be there, if you want to really become unstoppable with your feminine, that's what they want. They don't want anything forced. They don't want to have to teach you. They don't want to have to convince you. They are happy to share their wisdom with you, masculines, but they don't want to have to pull teeth, pull nails. They just want you to want to be there. They want you to bring your best to the table. They want you all in, masculines. They are ready to go all in with someone. And that is not just, controlling who you sleep with from here on out. We're talking about thriving, not surviving, masculines. So you don't have to force it with your feminine. If you masculines are really in a divinely aligned connection, you don't have to be more than you are. You do have to try. You will become a better masculine. You will rise into your potential, but you don't have to put on a mask. I needed to clarify that. What can we see for what these masculines are feeling on the heart space? They're keeping an open mind. They're opening their mind to union. This is calling them out. This eclipse is calling the masculines out of their stubborn, stoic, stubborn ways. Stubborn ways. Set in stone, fear-based, status quo, habits, heart walls, protection. On the heart space here, they know they have to look at it with more open-mindedness. They have to, or they're going to miss out on love. What is the energy here? Emotion, courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So they want this so badly, it scared the living bejeebus out of them. Bejesus? What is that? Bejeebies. The living bejeebies out of them. So yeah, they know that they have to do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So they know they have to do what they would ideally know that somebody in this position would do. They do know. They're divine. They're very intelligent. They're very creative. It's a matter of doing it, though. I'm seeing bungee jumping, and what you've got to do. You've got to jump off that bridge or whatnot. So there's a great deal of trust that the harness is okay, the rope is the right length, the staff cares about your life, that kind of thing. It's like trusting the divine, trusting the angels, trusting the guides and ancestors. They're all suited up and ready to take that leap, and they've got to just, do it. Ego versus strength. So they would tell you, feminines, that they're on this edge here where they're trying to find that stubborn pride versus healthy pride kind of edge here. They do know what an amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this connection offers them, though. And that's why it does mean so much. What's happening next? Yeah, they're going to offer something. So this is a page. This is not like Emperor, Empress level gifting or offering. This can be, admitting they don't know how to talk about feelings. And would you like to have a coffee date or go for a walk and try? Like disclaimers and apologies in advance. These masculines might say, I want to talk to you. I don't know where to begin. Yeah, and so it's going to take a great deal of humility to admit that the desire is there, but that they don't have the track record. And that is a huge ego humility axis there. What are they feeling on the heart space for you, Divine Feminine? Oh, so much anxiety. Here's the eclipse. This card says karma. I kind of figured this would come out. So before this eclipse is over, they're in a lot of anxiety right now. Remember, anxiety is when our head and our heart are at war. Our heart always knows. In this case, it's these connections. It's the love here. But the mind is writhing, trying to find an out, avoidant, dismissive, ill-equipped, whatever it may be. On their heart space, it's really eating them up. What is the emotion here? Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So the cringe. They want to know if you've ever felt foolish. They think you're so perfect, I just heard. I mean, they know this isn't the case. After all, their ego has projected many a thing onto you at times, feminines, but right in this moment, they think that they are the buffoon. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So they're getting there. They don't want to feel like you're too different, like you're so much of an angel and they're so much of a fool. But right now, they're really feeling the karma, the brunt of their choices, of the way they've conducted themselves in this connection, of how they haven't come forward, of how they've kept it at arm's length, how they haven't known how to deepen it, how they haven't wanted to deepen it, even though they know what this is. What would they say? Wait. So they just need a minute. It's like today, the eclipse. It's like, just wait, tomorrow is a new day, I'm hearing. So they have to just really go through the ringer right now. What's going to happen next? Yeah, this transformation. So we did see the death energy already with this transformation, knowing that it's love of self, truly loving themselves, believing in themselves, having a healthy self-esteem. They're going to come through it with flying colors. They're going to come through it into their transformation, their ascension here. But these are some of the very real markers on that journey that each individual has to face between them and God. What is it that they want to manifest here in this connection? They want to manifest everything they can. This is where there's a will, there's a way. But it's also contingent on divine timing. They know that it's not quite time yet. Another very nuanced awareness is that they know of circumstances in your life, feminines, that when they are mature and practical about it, they see the mirroring. They see that one is not further ahead than the other. But sometimes when the onus is on them to take further accountability, they get a little bit one-sided with how much they flog themselves with this perceived failure. So remember, masculines, it does take two. This is a mirrored tandem journey. And there are things. Think about it just for a minute. Come out of your disintegrated energy for a moment and just remember that your feminine isn't entirely free and clear to pursue, entirely balanced in some way that you know about. There's still something going on their side. So sometimes our spiritual gifts tell stories about failure. And really, if we took a step back, those failure stories are simply indicators that timing hasn't fully aligned yet. If you can follow that. But this does show interest in and intention to be poised and ready to go deeper when it's time. What is the emotion with this? Regret. I know I cannot change the past. So yes, masculines, you could have done better had you known better. This journey is teaching all of us how to know and do better. And part of mastery is awaiting higher guidance for the right timing and interpretation and instruction. And so, yeah, you weren't perfect. You were immature. You were a babe. And now you're grown. And so now you can do better. What would they say to us? You are my everything. You're a 10 out of 10. So these masculines want to tell you, you have deserved everything that anyone could ever deserve, Divine Feminine. You have been worthy of love. You are so fiercely attractive to them. Had they to do it all over again, knowing what they know now, they would have done it completely different. I just heard, I would have treated you like the princess you are. I would have never let you never let you shed a tear. I just heard. You know, when these masculines do face the conviction on their heart space to do it right going forward, that's what life partnership is about. That's what's required for a masculine to actually go all in for life, is really having this coming to God moment and getting right internally, seeing in real time the reasons why. Impeccability and righteousness are the prerequisites to have real love in our lives. And so they are going through this accountability schooling because of this love, because you're so important to them, because it matters so much to them, feminines. They really do want to manifest success here, and they really do know they've screwed it up in the past. But they also feel like this warrants continuing onward. Yeah, they want to bring you transformed communication. There's a butterfly on the sword. So this is the Divine Feminine awaiting this next level transparency, communication, big picture thinking. What are the actions that the masculines are wanting to take? They want to speak the truth. They want to exchange truth. They want to see what will happen without these projections and fears. Okay, I'm going to ask this little grab bag again. What are the truths they want to share with the feminines? What has our connection taught you? So they want to tell you what your connection has taught them, feminines. Your masculine wants to share how they've been becoming a better person, what they've learned, that they didn't know these things when they started with you in this, that they wanted real love, but they didn't have the foggiest idea of what that entailed, what it looked like, how to get it, how to do it. And this connection has been teaching them that. This is the truth, the truth, the truth. And what would they like to know from your side of it? Is there anything you find challenging with my personality? So they really want to know how they come across earnestly to you. They really want to know what you are still confused about, because at the end of the day, they do love you. They do want success here. And so they want to know now the constructive feedback. Because thank God you haven't rubbed it in their face. You've loved them unconditionally. That's true, masculine. So if this Divine Feminine that you're watching this for has truly treated you with honor and respect, whereas a karmic feminine energy might give you ultimatums and call you names and drag you through the dirt and criticize and chastise you and belittle you, that is not what a Divine Feminine does. I'm hearing the masculines say, I know, I know, I know. And it would be the biggest regret of my life if I walked the other way for good. Okay, so feminines, they're not willing to leave this. They've found love. They've found love. What is the emotion here? Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So they're getting stressed out, and they know the level of stress that they have by resisting this is adding up. It's taking a toll. They're not focusing, they're not sleeping, they're not eating, they're not keeping up with exercise regime, their mood isn't good, they're getting pretty frustrated. Accidents are happening, karma's happening, things are going on their side, and they know that I just heard loose cannon, they're not happy. They're not keeping their shiznit together anymore over there. And they know they've got to get back into alignment, which will also help their body chemistry feel healthier. So some of them may have had health scares. I don't want to scare any viewers here, but that can be an energetic wake-up call when we do have things that are not as smooth as they should be. What would they say? I feel the same way. So they do love you. You know, they do want success here. They know you do. You've told them, you've demonstrated that, you've shown them, feminines, in no uncertain terms, you've expressed it. And they do feel the same way. They just haven't so far felt at liberty to really go there with this. What's going to happen next? Deep, deep soul searching, mercy, humility, compassion, really eliminating this foolishness, the cringe in the energy, and having compassion on self and other. What is the biggest challenge these masculines are facing? The lost opportunities in the past, feeling into the intuitive solution, really searching their heart space for how they can come back from that, how they can redeem themselves, the angle that they can approach it from, the way they can look at it so that you know that they understand appropriate conduct here, the genuine, authentic truth rather than the fear-based actions. What is the emotion here? Patience, impatience, so impulsivity. So at these times when the pressure cooker was on and things did not unfold the way that maybe you anticipated they could potentially be going at various times, feminines, your masculines knew it too. And they want to, this is the challenge, that expressing that they knew it every single time when there was an opportunity to deepen this, to come together, they knew as well, but they didn't. They didn't. And that's because it was almost good enough. It wasn't quite time yet. So things on their side, things on your side, emotionally, mentally, physically, there has always been a slightly different thing, and they had to flail because it wasn't divine time yet. We saw the Wheel of Fortune, still it's not quite divine time. The Wheel of Fortune has been starting to come out a little more frequently, so something is coming. But this ability to observe the thing holistically is also a very required attunement with regard to alignment. So the challenge is understanding the impatience, the impulsivity. We're impatient when there's fear involved, when we don't feel we're worthy of something, when we fear we're going to lose it. And so the masculines are challenged by seeing how their fear that something was slipping through their hands caused them to leave you before you could leave them. Look at that rainbow. And then they needed to expand their patience, trust in divine order. This says, I accept everything happens in divine order. So it's been a coming to God moment. Every time these connections haven't kicked off, there's been a greater need to surrender to divine will, divine plan, and trust that it wasn't there yet instead of forcing it. We saw the magician not wanting to force things, but being willing to be here no matter what it takes, no matter how it's most beneficial to unfold. This has been a required piece of learning. That absolutely is a foundational prerequisite for real love. What would they say? I need time for me. So yeah, when they've been impatient, it's because they've wanted you. So they were still in that codependency. They wanted you as an escape. They wanted to have you. They wanted to self-soothe. Maybe it was they wanted sex. Maybe they wanted intimacy, emotional intimacy. Maybe they wanted just a taste of your frequency because they were going through a rough time and they weren't ready to be all in yet. And so they were cutting corners and then getting unhappy when that couldn't happen. And now they realize instead of trying to fill the void with your sweet nectar, they now know in those times of patience what they needed was themselves. Really? Oh, that's gorgeous. So on this eclipse where the masculines are in hermit mode, they're in solitude, they're taking solace in it, feminines. This is where it goes from resentment and pain and feeling rejected and feeling like a failure and feeling foolish to feeling capable and safe and balanced, and this solace, this peace. It's all in how you look at it, masculines. Yeah. What's coming up? This is epiphanies the masculines are having, maybe in hindsight about the feminines, the T for truth here. They're seeing things 180 degrees differently than the pain. This is the flip. Instead of feeling like they're the odd one out and the victim of circumstances or rejection, whatever it is, they're starting to see this whole thing as divine timing for the reasons it's been creating: trust, love, patience, and all the other good things that love is. What is, let's see, trying to see which one we're at. I think we're at the solution. Yeah, we're at the solution to this challenge of missed opportunities. Instead of being fixated on what divine feminine needs and wants, masculines are getting real with their own needs. Now, here's divine feminine and the telepathic communication card, but the telepathic wires are closed for business right now. Even though the sun and the moon in the eclipse come together, the sun is blocked from our perception right now, and the moon takes priority. So you need to take priority for yourself right now, feminines, and the masculines are behind the veil, so to speak, dealing with their own accountability with God right now. So at this time, the solution is to really both tap into very deeply our own knowing at this time. What is the energetic purpose? I know what I'm here to do. So yeah, it's a time to really see your growth, the solutions you have gleaned from that overcoming in your life, overcoming karma, overcoming struggle, overcoming trauma. And really look at how you can begin to give back, deepen your service, deepen your solutions, offerings of solutions, teaching, art into the world. It's time to really commit to that going forward. That sense of purpose is what makes or breaks connections in part. There's like a trinity. Knowing ourselves and coming into mastery is a prerequisite for real love. Being healed enough to give back is an alignment indicator of being ready for real love, of being in mastery. All of these things come together when people overcome and now are of earthly good. So focusing on that, karmic scenarios where we get codependency, we lose ourselves in each other because we don't have the wherewithal, the healing, the solutions to contribute into this life. We're still takers. We're still consumers instead of contributors. So we're moving from consumption to contribution. See how you can do that in your own life. What would they say? Brand new beginning. They want to offer you something. They very much want to offer you something going forward. They want to offer you their incentive to live a more authentic life, I just heard, for themselves. Empress. It's in the inverse. So again, purpose goes hand in hand with abundance. This can also mean that it's becoming time to start talking about fertility, that new fresh start. You are my everything. This can indicate pregnancies on the horizon, talking about expanding families, also purpose and abundance and financial considerations. And so it's time to really be focused on what you're here to do. The things that make your heart sing, the things you're being called to spend your time each day joyfully doing. What can we see for the near future? What are these masculines focused on happening in the next, let's say, 3 weeks? Overcoming their abandonment wound. really committing to a sacred path, connection to source, not playing games anymore, not avoiding getting real, grounding into their faith, stepping on a more righteous path, eliminating the things they darn well know they need to get rid of in their life, not cutting corners anymore. And the burden, wow, 10 of swords, 10 of wands, both in the inverse. They want to turn their life around. These masculines are very much wanting to end the grief, guilt, shame, anger. They want to get out of the suffering. What is the emotion connected with this? Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents. This is like rebirth. These masculines are truly, truly wanting a fresh start. They mean it, feminines. These masculines mean it. They mean it. And oh, do they want to consummate that? Ooh, yeah. They want to do the big consummation. They want to show you how much they truly, actually do choose you and love you. They want to consummate it. You know, eclipses are sexy things. These are the cosmic merge. And they do represent sacred sexuality. And for that, we need safety and intimacy. And for that, we need balanced masculine and feminine internally and when two masters come together. Yeah, and there's the moon again. So secrets are going to be coming to light. There are going to be hidden things coming up for clearing. This can also mean that there's a lot of this cosmic feminine fertility and very cosmic primordial frequencies calling in the masculines. They cannot find this level of sensual connection anywhere else. And they have to come to God to access it. They have to love themselves divine to access this cosmic opportunity. That's a pretty awesome eclipse read. I do say so myself. Many blessings. Bye for now.